Last night was the biggest joke in Miami Heat basketball history. And on today's show, we are going to talk about how much of a disaster it was and how things need to change. Because I officially believe last night was rock bottom for this Heat team right now. And when you think about rock bottom for this Heat team, I'm specifically just looking at the last 6 years ever since Jimmy Butler joined this Heat team. And I am not blaming Jimmy. He did not play yesterday due to the phantom illness or ankle injury, whatever he has. But either way, the atrocity that was last night cannot continue, and it needs to be changed because the Heat lost 121 to 114. They led the entire game. They got outscored in the fourth quarter 37 to 8. They were leading going into the final 12 minutes by 22 points. An absolute joke. Like, I am dead serious. I have never seen that happen before. No Jimmy Butler or not, you cannot blame that because guess what the Magic had? No one. No Franz Wagner, no Paolo Banchero, no Jalen Suggs. There is no excuses, and it is time to blow up this current regime in Miami because it is simply not going anywhere, and I think it's very evident that they are never going to win anything. All right, what is your one-word reaction to the loss last night? I'll be completely transparent with you guys. Last night was the first game of the entire season that I did not watch a single second of. I had commitments, I had plans. I could not watch last night's game. Thank God I could not, because I don't think I could actually host this channel anymore if I had to sit through that and watch it live. But we did get caught up on highlights. We rewatched the game and also saw what the people were talking about Twitter. My one word, by the way, is embarrassing. And I don't think there's any other word that you can use. You can use disaster, you can use angry, but there has never been a moment, I think, in NBA history to where a team was leading the entire game, was leading by 22 points, and then got outscored. This feels like a lie. This feels like it's impossible to say this out loud. Outscored 37 to 8 in one quarter. 8 points in 12 minutes of basketball. You guys are professionals. You are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. 8 points against a team missing their two best players and their best defensive guard. I can't comprehend it. I can't wrap my head around it. And then a lot of people can't even point to the usual excuses. Oh, we need to play Khalil Ware. Terry Rozier sucks. Terry played good yesterday offensively. Khalil Ware played and was a plus 26. Didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. Maybe he should have because, once again, got outscored 37 to 8. I feel like this is on par with the Atlanta Falcons blowing a 28 to 3 lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Obviously not the same standards, but that's the type of collapse it takes for you to lose a game like this. As we mentioned, you see some stats percolating on screen right now, but the stats do not do it justice. These guys should be ashamed of themselves. Like, I'm being serious. Like, I almost think they should forfeit the next game, or just play the entire G League Sioux Falls team, because the players that played last night for the Miami Heat do not deserve to be wearing a Heat uniform when they play on Monday against the Brooklyn Nets. And we are going to be live, unfortunately. I don't want to be live because this team doesn't deserve our attention, if we're going to be completely honest. But I guess we'll actually talk about some of the players in this game, since I've gotten my rant and my piece out of the way. I do think Khalil Ware looked good. I tweeted this out because I did see a highlight come across my timeline last night. He does need to play more. Kevin Love was out with personal reasons. Jimmy Butler was out, so there was a spot in the rotation for front court, and Ware played, and he played pretty well. Like I mentioned, plus 26. I mean, that's the highest on the team by quite a large margin. 8.7 boards, pair of blocks. He played well, man. And I know a lot of people are going to be frustrated with Erik Spoelstra, and I know a lot of people in the comment sections are going to ask to fire Erik Spoelstra. I do want you guys to calm down a little bit. Even though I had said my piece, I had my rant, there is no chance Erik Spoelstra gets fired. You can blame him a little bit for not playing Khalil Ware potentially in the fourth quarter. He said he thought about playing Ware in the first 4 minutes of that final 12-minute frame, but they ultimately did not, and the Heat paid the price. I think one thing is clear, though, is that the Heat need to find a way to get Ware and Bam on the court together. I have told you that the Heat do not feel comfortable doing that to this point, and I don't expect it to happen anytime soon, but it's clear that they need to, because that small ball lineup that the Heat tried to close last night's game with just simply can't happen. Drew Smith played well. He started this game, 14 points, 4 steals, 4 boards, 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Like, you can't blame Drew Smith for this game. Like, he was good. And to be honest, I think he should borderline be a starter going forward. Like, Duncan Robinson has been so hit or miss lately. He had 10 points last night, 2 of 6 shooting, but he's so bad defensively that I think a Drew Smith Herro backcourt might actually be better than a Duncan Robinson Herro backcourt. Like, Drew Smith played well, but you simply cannot have a final lineup of Drew Smith, Tyler Herro, Terry Rozier, Pallel Larson, and then Bam Adebayo. Like, that just is an issue. Bam is already a super undersized center. He's 6'9", and he still is a top 5 center in the NBA, but it's still way too much to put on him as a 6'9" guy to defend and protect the front court, especially when he's getting no help with size in that front court alongside him. We'll talk more about that in just a second, but we are sponsored by Game Time, the best ticketing app out there, and if you want to get last-minute tickets, flash deals, and get the best bang for your buck when purchasing your tickets, Game Time is the app for you. And with this holiday season here, well, there's still time to get the best holiday gift, and that is a ticket to a live event. You can get tickets to sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, and when you do go to buy your tickets, you'll get a panoramic view in the app of your seat before you buy, so you know exactly where you were sitting. You will also get a perfect look of the entire venue. You'll get all-in pricing, showing the total price of your ticket up front rather than getting blindsided by fees at checkout. You get everything you could possibly imagine with Game Time. And when you download the app today, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, you get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, first purchase only, but download the app, use code CHATSPORTS. We'll get you $20 off your first purchase. They also have a great feature called Game Time Picks. Filters out the fluff to show you the incredible deals on great seats. What else can you want? What time is it? It's game time. But as we get back to the struggles of the Heat and playing too small. I get it, Eric Spoelstra likes small ball lineups. I think that has to change a little bit. It does. Because like we mentioned, the closing lineup last night for Miami was Bam Adebayo at 6'9", and then 4 6'5" guys are shorter. Larson is 6'5". Tyler Herro 6'5", 6'6", but he's not obviously able to guard 4s in the NBA, and Pallel Larson shouldn't be expected to either. Pallel Larson should be expected to guard 1s, 2s, and 3s that aren't 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". Like, to have a 4-guard lineup on the roster with an undersized center, that is just bad coaching. It is. And like I mentioned, I'm not going to put it all on Spo because it's not Spo's fault the players couldn't make a shot and they only scored 8 points in the fourth quarter. But you do have to give a little bit of blame on him for putting out a lineup that just doesn't complement each other well. Like, in theory, yes, sure, they'll have playmaking, they'll have shot creation, they'll have shooting with that final 5-man lineup, but they'll also just struggle to get rebounds. And I think you saw that late in the game. The Magic rebounded the Heat 41-38. They had 10 offensive rebounds. Like, that is an issue. And when you have a player, 2 players out there or 1 player out there that is above 6'7", like, that's going to be an issue. Maybe you could have argued for Nikola Jovic to play more. Maybe. He started in this game, only played 19 minutes after playing a pretty good game on Friday against the Thunder coming off the bench in that third quarter. I'm kind of running out of ideas here, if I'm going to be honest. Like, you let Cole Anthony, who was averaging, I think, 6 points over his last 5 games, go for 35, 9, and 8. That just is embarrassing. There's no other way to say it. That's just bad brand of basketball. Goga Badatsi, who's actually been good this year, I'm not going to lie, so it's not like I'm going to flame him for being some nobody, but 18 and 13, 8 of 8 from the field, that's just too easy. It just is. And if I'm going to be honest to this point, like, I don't know if the answer is to are within to get this fixed. I don't. Like, you look inside this roster, you look inside at the players you have currently. What makes you think any lineup changes are going to change the outcome of this season? And that is why over the past 2 months I've been saying that the Heat should trade Jimmy Butler. Because this team is going nowhere. It is not at best. The peak of this Heat basketball team is winning a first-round playoff series. It is. I don't think there's a debate in that. And they would have to get lucky based off who they play. They're not beating the Knicks. They're not beating the Cavs. They're not beating the Celtics. Like, who could they play in the first round and win? I don't think they beat the Bucks at this point. Like, I used to always think they could beat the Bucks. Like, this team is going nowhere. It is stuck in the mud. I'm sick of it. And you guys joke, being dead serious. This is a meme. Shout out Pardon My Take. Shout out Jeff Fisher. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards. This is kind of that moment. If the Heat want to take that ultimate step forward to be a playoff threat, a championship caliber team, anytime in the next 5 to 7 years, I think you are at first going to have to take a step back for 1 to 2 seasons so you can then get to that point. Like, it is. It just is the truth. Like, if you stink over the next 2 years and have 2 top 10 picks, so be it. Like, seriously. I'm kind of done being in the middle here. And I would rather be absolutely dog shit at the game of basketball than what is currently happening of 4-game win streak, 3-game losing streak, 3-game win streak, 3-game losing streak. This team's just mid. There's no way around it. It's not going to be better. This team has no chance to play and win in the postseason. So you might as well trade Jimmy before you potentially lose him for nothing. I wouldn't trade Bam or Herro. I probably would like to keep Kel'el Ware as well for the long term. But quite literally, Herro, Ware, Bam, right now are the only 3 players I would not take calls on. And even I could make an argument for trading Tyler Herro. I could. I'm not going to, but I could because this is his absolute peak value right now because he's playing at an all-star level, and I don't think his value in the NBA will ever be higher, and you'd be selling at his absolute high. It's something to think about. I don't want to do it, but I'm just going to say it is something to think about. Just stick with Bam and Ware and build from there. Who knows? All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Sorry, I just had to come on and rant here. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. Like, it just is. Like, I got to be honest. I didn't even want to make this video because it filled me with rage thinking about talking about this Heat basketball team and that game. But we're still going to do it anyway because it's our job and we are diehards. And we'll be back live tomorrow as well for Heat Nets on Monday. And then we'll be live after that on Thursday where we have to play the fucking Magic again the day after Christmas. We'll be there for that, so hit that sub button.